What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So, I'm reading this article based on a video interview of Terrence Crawford. Now, I want to talk about him real quick, and I want to say this. He said something slightly different, but pretty much in the same realm of what he said before. Terrence Crawford. Before I say that, let me say to, the fanboys that get your panties all up in the wad for whatever little silly childish reason, this immature, ignorant mentality that a lot of people have in this generation, it's really unacceptable and definitely unnecessary. You guys, the second you hear something about a fighter, you go into let me defend my favorite fighter mode, right? Let me defend my boyfriend mode. That's how a lot of you act. But you fail to realize where the source is coming from. So when you hear Aries say, Terrence Crawford only wants a rematch with Errol Spence or the Canelo fight, and that's it. Right? Do you know why Aries says that? Because that's exactly what Terrence Crawford said. So I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what he says. And even if I tell you what I think, it's based off what they're doing. But you guys who want to see a fighter break this guy's record and want to do this and want to do that, you guys got to understand something, right? These fighters are going to do what they're going to do, okay? Unless they have no choice but to take another option or nothing at all and then miss out on money. So let's look at something. Terrence Crawford said he wants a rematch with Errol Spence and Canelo, and then that's it. He said that clearly. I forgot whose fight he was coming from. Might have been the fight before with Jerome Boutinez. But bottom line, or whatever fight it was, he was walking, being interviewed, he said that out of his own mouth. Now, he says more recent, I read that shit this morning. Today is Wednesday. What, the 13th? The 13th of November 13th, Wednesday. So I said, I read the article. He says now, if he doesn't get Canelo, he's walking away. Remember a couple of videos ago before that, I said, do you really care to see him fight Errol Spence again? Not only that, how long is that fight, how long is that rematch going to take? How long? And then too, we don't even know how that fight is going to affect Errol Spence mentally, knowing, damn, Crawford is about to walk. I'm not even going to get a chance to try to get revenge. Does he really want to try to get revenge? I don't know. Remember all of that? Crawford telling, Spence he got to get to the back of the line, and Spence said, I don't do lines, buddy, right? Okay. And then all of a sudden we heard that Spence was getting the Fundora fight, and people lost their minds like Fundora's not the only champion at the division. You understand what I mean? So each fighter is going to try to go and eat the best way that they can. Now, that all being said, right? Terrence Crawford, I told you guys, he doesn't want to fight 3-4 more times. He, out of his own mouth, said in 3 fights, he would be undisputed. Did I not tell you guys? Being undisputed is second to him. Fighting Canelo is first. And if he fights Canelo and beats Canelo, he has no reason to even go forward with wanting to, keep having these fights. The older you get, man, your body, fighters get tired of going through these tough, grueling workouts. They might not tell you that. They'll tell you, I love it. Yeah, they're not supposed to show any weakness in their armor. But they'll tell you that. But they don't want to have to keep doing this every time. And then on top of that, just for a junk fight. So, that being said, I told you guys, did I not say this several videos ago? Crawford could walk away right now. His legacy's cemented. He doesn't need this fight. He wants Canelo. He wants the payday. And I do believe if Crawford was to get that fight, he get in the best shape he can and coming in with the mindset that he's coming to win. I don't think he beats Canelo at 168 pounds. I don't give a fuck about what everybody else has said. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. For Crawford to beat Canelo right now at this stage in his life, on top of that, you got to understand that man has to come up to 168 and carry that weight, do a 12-round fight. Do you really see him knocking Canelo out? Do you see Crawford all of a sudden being really fleet of foot and can dance around for 12 rounds? Because he doesn't have the type of defense where he could fight him. And he, people want to be able to say he's better than Floyd and all that bullshit. But Crawford would have to do some things differently, and he'd have to avoid getting hit with the big shots. And at some point, I believe it's going to be one of them things where Canelo just breaks him down and end up stopping Crawford, man. I just don't think he's strong enough to beat Canelo. He has the skills, but at the same time, he can't get away like he used to even the way he fought Spence. If you look at how wild Spence was fighting, Canelo would have knocked Spence the fuck out that night. Canelo would probably knock Spence out anyway, regardless. You understand what I'm saying? When you see this and you act like you don't see it, or maybe a lot of you just don't understand what you're watching. Wow. But Terence Crawford just said what he said. And I told you, he doesn't want to fight Jaron Boots Ennis. So when you have these immature, I can't even explain what I just heard, but I think what he said was, this and that. Like when he made that tweet, when he sent that tweet out to Jaron Ennis, I told you, he wasn't playing Jaron Ennis out. He was telling Jaron Ennis, I saw several people, Terence Crawford, that nigga. Crawford told that nigga, one slip up, nigga, that's your ass. No, that's not what he said. That's not what he meant. When he said one slip up, he's basically telling him, I know where you are. I was there. I didn't explain this already. And trying to get there, all it takes is one slip up. See, Crawford has had several slip ups in his career. Not with losing fights, but with not making the best decisions and having a terrible fucking team, the management team. And if his popularity was the same as Canelo's or Tank Davis, if the payout is there, maybe then Canelo takes the fight. Maybe he takes the fight then. But his popularity is not there. See, he doesn't need Canelo. He wants to fight Canelo. Canelo doesn't need Crawford. So it doesn't make a difference if people say Canelo's running, he's ducking. It doesn't matter for the simple fact these guys are several weight divisions apart. So he doesn't need Crawford. Okay? And he can say, if I win, I beat him, then I get no credit. You understand? And he's not even supposed to say, if I win. He was supposed to say, after I beat him. Why? Because there's no way that he should think he's going to lose to a guy coming up from that much fucking weight. But at the same time, it's not about, we're not even, listen, Canelo Alvarez will say that, but then at the same time, see, he can go fight a guy like Bivol, somebody that's much bigger, and people going to make excuses for him when he lose. The difference with Canelo is because he's the money man. A fighter is more likely to take a fight at whatever weight class or on short notice because they know fighting Canelo is going to be the biggest payday. But even Bivol said, there's no need for me to fight him again at 175. I want to fight him at his weight class, so there's no excuses after I beat him. You see, this is what I'm saying. So Canelo's in that same situation in terms of the possible outcome. And for the people that saying, well, look, Bivol beat him, you got to remember something. Bivol is a lot stronger than Terence Crawford. He's bigger, he's taller, he's rangier, he's linkier, and he knew what he was doing. And the way he fought, Terence Crawford doesn't have that type of physicality to go in there and muscle Canelo around. Crawford doesn't hit hard enough or have the type of style where Canelo's going to be worried about getting hit. Canelo is going to jump on Crawford early, work the body, try to do all it if he were to take the fight. I just don't think at 168 pounds he beats Canelo. And he doesn't need that fucking fight. But I commend him for wanting to fight. I commend him for wanting to get in there and show, hey, I'm here. So I'm not saying he shouldn't do it based on the fact that he might lose. You might lose any fight you get in the ring in. You never know what might happen when you get in the ring. What I'm saying, I don't care for the fight, because to me the fight's stupid, because this man came out from lightweight and was coming all the fucking way up, right, to 168 pounds. And he's not going to fight at 160, then 168. He's going to go from 154, jump to 168. Now, didn't Terence Crawford sit next to Turkey and say, man, we ain't worried about Canelo? Then he turned around and he said, I ain't think about Canelo. I ain't worried about anything about Canelo no more. I'm moving on, right? Then when he was sitting next to Turkey, what was he saying? Hey, Canelo, yeah, we want that fight, right? Okay. Yeah, he want the fight. But him walking away, look, you can only do but so much. George Foreman said he wanted to be the oldest heavyweight champion ever, and he wound up doing it. Bernard Hopkins was out here at an advanced age in boxing, still winning championships. So you look at a fighter and say, well, what is it that they want to do? What's left for them to do, right? This isn't something that Crawford needs. It's something that he wants. Like Keyshawn Davis now saying, I don't need Tank Davis. I just proved to myself and to the people I actually have a following. So I don't need him, but I want to fight him. I want the challenge. You understand what I'm saying? Now you look at a guy like Lomachenko. So when I say Lomachenko is probably going to retire, if he doesn't, what's the purpose? See, when you 37, 38, whatever, you get to them ages and all of a sudden you don't take the biggest fights and then you walk away. What the fuck for? You going to come back? What is Lomachenko's purpose for coming back? If he's not going to fight Tank Davis, if he's not going to fight Shakur Stevenson, if he's not going to fight a Keyshawn Davis, what is his purpose for coming back? What purpose would Lomachenko serve? To walk away from the biggest payday of his career, to walk away from the biggest legacy fight in his whole career against Tank Davis, just to walk back and fight a tune-up. Then what? What, fight one of the lesser champions in the division, but not fight against Tank? Or not fight against Shakur? Listen, he turned Shakur down. He turned Tank Davis down. So what makes you think that he wants this fight? And he already said money doesn't motivate him, right? His trainer said, coach said that money doesn't motivate him. Okay, well, his manager and all that, whatever. So if that's not the motivation, right? And you turn the shit down so you can go spend time with your family, you could have took the fight. Win, lose, or draw, you're going to go spend time with your family and have even more money. So what is it that he don't want? What is it that he doesn't want? And if he's not motivated and he's not feeling it, I'm not saying that any fighter should jump in if they're not motivated and not feeling it. But I am saying that the fighter needs to shut up, and the fans definitely need to shut up with this excuse-making nonsense. When the challenge is there and you say no, in the story you have no defense. And at Lomachenko's age, that's what I'm saying. What the fuck does he need to continue to fight for? I mean, that's his business if he wants to continue to fight and fight a bunch of junk fights. But does that make any sense? Is that would you, as a Lomachenko fan, even respect that, to say, well, damn, you don't want to be champion, you just picking fights with random dudes here and there? And how often and how long is that going to last? It will make zero sense. So, yeah, I feel like Lomachenko, he might be another one that sooner or later might announce his retirement. And for Terrence Crawford, like I said before, I said the same thing about both of them several videos ago. They don't even need to keep fighting. Okay? But at the same time, if the fighter feel like they want to fight, they want to get in there, so be it. Just understand something, though. There's always a such thing as one fight too many. And for Crawford, man, if he jumps in there and fight and lose to somebody, and, he's really not motivated like he should have been, he really wanted the Canelo fight, what sense does it make? Just for y'all to be going, yeah, but he dared to be great, or yo, man, nah. If you don't get the fight that you want, just walk away. So now when I tell you guys, and he out of his own mouth said he had no interest in fighting Jaron Boots Ennis, the Crawford fans just feel some kind of way about his own words, but they try to take it out on the content creators doing the content because they take it as he's being punked by Jaron Boots Ennis. I done told you, he's in a different space than Jaron. Jaron's trying to get to that space he's in. And what sucks for Jaron is because people going to use these excuses about, oh, he ain't ready and all this other bullshit. And for him to go forward without having an Errol Spencer, without having a Terrence Crawford on his record, well, doesn't matter. He's going to have to be able to show and prove against the fighters that's available. Bottom line. Talk to me in the comment section, y'all. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.